Today we'll be covering gold. Interesting right now, obviously, we've been speaking about how we're currently trading like at all-time highs, right? So these are more intraday kind of plays. So I got up today in New York session and I saw a nice trade cooking up in New York session, more of an in and out. The classic. I wanted to see what did Asia do, what did London do, and where do I believe New York can follow. So as simple as that. Marking on some things from the day before, I believe, yeah, Monday, today was Tuesday, so I took my entry on Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. From yesterday, price runs equals on the left-hand side, also trapping anybody going long in these areas here. Okay, so buyers get taken out of the market, and we also sweep that liquidity to the left-hand side, which allows us to go long. Okay, now today, what happened here in Asia? So if we zoom in, we can see Asia sold off, okay, respected the low, came up higher, and then finally took this low here, which now tells me this will be a trap. Okay, we won't be trading from this area. So look how price ends up running back up, taps into it, okay, and moves away. What does that tell me? We simply got liquidity up here now. Okay, as easy as that. Market sells off. Sorry, actually, before it even sells off, let's point this out. Look how we've now taken out this high here, which tells me anyone buying this thing from the lows, they're going to get trapped as well. Boom. Perfect. So buyers get trapped and we get a big sell move to the downside. Okay. Perfect. Now we're approaching, actually, sorry, we're still in London here. So let's mark on. Here we go. We got New York open. Okay. Being 8 a.m. my time and 9:30 is usually that stock open. So I'll mark it on for an added confluence as to where we'll be in and around that price, that time. But cool. So what's price doing right now? We are respecting an area on the left-hand side. If you look, price came up, printed a high, printed a low. Okay. So what does that tell people? Look how price ended up taking out the previous high. So these are going to be areas they're looking to buy from. Okay. These are going to be traps though. So look how price is actually respecting it. Stabbed into it once, came back, stabbed into it again. Look at this, even this candle rejection. And then we move lower and trap out anyone buying this thing. Perfect. Now, if you're savage, you could take some sort of entry down here, but I will not be looking for any sort of entries here. Why? Because in order for me to take an entry at the extreme like this from the left-hand side, I would have needed to see some sort of like liquidity block like this. Okay, so I'd take the entry here, stop loss goes below here, but that's not the case in this example here. So I would not be taking any sort of extreme entries. So simply just wait for more price action. Okay, so let's fast forward here till New York, because that's when I'm about hopping on the computer. And boom. Okay, so right before New York open, what can we now see? Price takes out this previous high. Okay, runs up, prints a new high, comes back, returns to the low, and respects it and moves away. Simple stuff. This now tells me there is liquidity below that low. Okay, so we can mark that out. Perfect. And just honestly, before we even continue off with this, what do we got down here? This whole area, liquidity block. So what could happen is possibly we could run this low, right? Run the low, and then maybe see a move higher, excuse me, into where? The liquidity we left in Asia and Frankfurt, because here's Frankfurt open right here. Okay, but also known as Asia high, sitting up here. We can turn the indicator on. So there's Asia high. Okay, so perfect. Let's see what price does now. New York. So now we're just entering New York open. Get a sell off. Look how we respect this low again. Wow, coincidence. And then we move higher. And no problem. Okay, so now look how we spiked through this internal. Right at stock open. Okay, coincidence again? What can now happen is we can probably see that taking out this internal point, it's grabbing some sort of liquidity on the lower time frames here. It could fuel us for a move to the downside below where this this liquidity point. Okay, and again, we want price below this internal liquidity point because we got a liquidity block right below. Wow, look at that. We came down, respected the low again, and just rejected up. Respected this high. Look at that. Now we have liquidity here. Perfect. Sell off right through it. So one entry could have been just like this, like we were speaking about over here on the left-hand side. You could take the entry as soon as the low is taken. Stop goes below liquidity block. Perfect. Where can we target? You have a possible partial point at the high here, or here's our actual target being up here. Okay, so that's entry number one. Now let's see what price does. Okay, so look at this. We have taken out this internal point, which now tells me running the low is not possible. But if you look to the left-hand side, what do we got? This nice inducement low. So ask yourself, why did this low print here? If we look a little bit deeper, right, we respected this area to the left. So what can now happen is run that inducement low, okay? Run the inducement low, come deeper into this liquidity block area, and boom, move away, okay? So as soon as we stab the low, we can take an entry. Boom, and just like that, we run the low. To be honest with you, let's back up one candle. We can look on the 1 minute. There we go. Partial point, again, could be up here. If you want, you can even target maybe these imbalances, but don't forget, like, look at all the liquidity we've now left to the upside here. So it doesn't hurt to even hold it to this, all right? But yeah, now we're on M1, so let's see what happens here. Move to the low, respect it again, partially. Finally, we run it. There's entry number one. Okay, so now look to the left. We've taken every sort of liquidity point out, right? One here, and the last one being here. Now we're in this liquidity block down here. So this is when M1/extreme entries are okay to take, or when I would be okay with taking them, right? Because everything has been taken to the left-hand side. We're just trading within the extreme now. Here would be an M1 re-entry. You have an M1 liquidity block being here. Trading it for a little bit, okay? Why? Well, since we've taken out the low here, this is going to be an area that sellers are looking to sell from, okay? But we're not going to be trading from that. We understand that we want to be targeting this and this, okay? So now we're starting to respect that 1 minute liquidity block and we're moving away nicely. We stall at the high for a little bit, again, to induce sellers, no problem. Look at that, boom. Nice little 1 minute candle. Why is that important? Well, because this is inducing sellers. Think about as this as this candle is being printed. Okay, I can't really print it like live time, but I press next here. Look how big bearish, okay, then little rejection. I believe there's even more. Yeah, look, and another one. So right now, if you're sitting in at this price action, sellers are going, okay, cool. My area up here is selling, or sorry, holding. So they're going to expect this to get respected, and they want to see that continuation down to the downside. But little do they know, job has been done to the left, okay? We now should see that move up. And there we go. Nice move away. Again, inducing sellers on the way up, small rejections, and then finally blasting the high. Okay, grabbing that liquidity. So great partial point here. And then, of course, we have our more intra-session target here. Boom. And just like that. Honestly, one of the most craziest trades I've probably ever taken, just because gold is so volatile right now. But if you take a look at this, this is right here, if you look at the top, that's 270 pips. And it only took 45 minutes to move 270 pips. If you only have, think about this, if you only have 2 lots running, only 2 lots, that is 5,400 US from just two lots in 45 minutes. That's insane, right? Even if you have one lot, let's just say you have one standard lot running, that's 2,700 US in 45 minutes. So it's crazy to think about. Very, very volatile. But check the precision out here. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Again, grab this internal point. Okay, grab this internal point, come down lower to take out the buyers, spiking that inducement low, coming deeper into the liquidity block, reaction up. Look how we even have M5 re-entry here as well. Okay, and then just moon to the upside. So clean, clean, clean trade. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next case study.